You thought I was locked up, didn't you? Yes, Monday morning. It's a bit snowy. It's not, well, actually, it's not as bad, I hear, as they said it was going to be, but the roads actually weren't horrible. There were a few slick spots here and there, but just took my time, got here. So, Monday morning, and yes, welcome to Script Roulette. Now, apparently, now we found out from Colt Box and some other places that several alternate scripts have now been handed in for the Christmas special. And you're going to love this. This shows you the amount of pre-planning, the amount of thought that has gone into this mess. There's one script, depending on how much if Billie Piper is going to even be available, and then there's another script. Okay, she's available, but how much time is she going to be able to dedicate to a production? Let alone, are they going to be able to even hire her for that? That's right. Get ready. This gets better. There's another script depending on all that, and if they have a 16th Doctor picked before Christmas rolls around or not. And then there's another script. Really, this is what you get when you shoot your load and don't have, any proper, backup plans involved. Maybe they needed a script condom. I don't know. But still, now I'm worried. I am really worried. When, literally, he just threw this in, I think, the whole Billie Piper thing was to make damn sure he got the next episode so he could explain that shit off. But as I've said, as I've said, before, this was literally done last minute. He literally phoned up Billie Piper, asked her if she wanted to come in and do this, and that's why it looked so half-assed when it finally made it to air, this quote-unquote regeneration scene. And it's like, really, I hate to say this, I hate to be mean, I hate to be evil, but he'd been better off just going to a blank screen instead of doing this stupid-ass stunt. Because, oh yeah, Billie's going to be able to pop in, but if you want her to stay, or if you want her to, do more than just pop up at the end of the episode and go, hello, oh, what the hell was that shit? Oh, then it's not going to be cheap. And one of the things you're all worried about when this thing comes around is the fact that the Disney money is gone. Which means now, whoever steps into this role, you're going to have to budget it around the future and what money are you going to have available. And I'll tell you right now, Billie Piper ain't going to be cheap. She's not going to do it out for the love of her heart. Okay? As much as a lot of people would like to think that. Sure, she's going to do an appearance because she likes the show or whatever, but she's not going to commit to a multi-episode or whatever deal. And a lot of people were, of course, the rumor was being floated around that Tennant was showing up again. I'm like, folks, if he goes back to the Tennant crutch again at this point, people are going to tune out. As much as we love David Tennant as the Doctor and all that, it's been overdone. I don't mind a past Doctor showing up every now and then, but when you have him show up to do like an entire mini-series, just to exit him out so you can get the new Doctor in that wasn't available at the time. Oh God, I'm deeply sorry to hear that, Raj, that you lost somebody there. Sadly, it's going to happen to us all. We lose people along the way, and the best thing you can do is keep them alive in your memory. That's what I do. That's how I get by. Like I said, in a way, my dad's still with me every day because I like to think, what would he have said to this and that? And so you just got to hang in there. But back to Script Roulette. That's right. You literally now have several alternate versions of the script for the upcoming Christmas special. And here's the thing. This is why this is bad. Because if you don't have certain things in line very soon, because we're coming into the third month now of the year, this stuff has to go before cameras. This all, you've got to get everything in place to start, making this shit. And if you don't have anything in place and one strong script to back it up, it's like, hello, you're literally sitting there like, let me see how the best word this. You're back there in time. You're like one of the Mayas or whatever, hoping the sky lines up just right so the universe don't end. All right. And yes, the Mayans were very gifted mathematicians. But of course, there were no advanced civilizations before ours. That's one of the things that still make me die laughing. I go, yeah, you got the Mayans out there in the middle of Central America, and they're calculating numbers 15 digits to the right and the left of the decimal point over 1,000 years ago. But all right, that's a whole nother point. Yeah, they don't have a 16th Doctor picked, nor has there been any word of any call-ins for like read-throughs or anything like that. And so basically, I think he literally thinks that Billie Piper is just going to dump everything. And you got to remember, Billie Piper is also working on her own projects. Like they're going to start filming Wednesday here, I think, pretty soon. I could have swore I saw an announcement about that somewhere, but yeah, because he's literally, it seems like RTD is just literally sitting there and he's just throwing a whole plate of lasagna against the wall to see which layer sticks. Because he's out. He's gone. There's, I'll be shocked, if he, like I said, there's only a word going around. Yeah, he's out. He's gone. Matter of fact, I hate to say this, but he should have been out. He should have been gone. And they should have just, blurbed off the Billie Piper thing and called it a day. They should have brought somebody. If you're going to have a new showrunner, you should have brought him in immediately. Because I hate to sound mean, I hate to sound evil, but those last couple of finales did not impress me at all. When I watched the first one, I rated it highly, but then I went back and I watched it again, and I'm like, my God, what did he do to Sutek? And then he screwed up the Ronnie, screwed up Omega. So-called Mr. Classic Fan. Oh. Well, yeah, you're going to, all right, Raj, yeah, you're going to see a lot of that because Fallout's been a major success. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to start seeing a number of post-apocalyptic projects suddenly going, into high gear. Oh, by the way, James Hong, actor James Hong, if you've seen him everywhere, showed up to a con dressed as David Lopan. The man is 97 years old now. He showed up to a con dressed as David Lopan from Big Trouble in Little China. That is not a light costume. And he even did a spiel as David Lopan. So I got to say that, James Hong, damn, man, you've got staying power. 97 years old now. So I had to mention that because I saw that clip this morning and I'm like, oh shit, Okay, but back to Doctor Who. Yeah, we're on script roulette, which means literally, like I said, depending, there are now alternate versions of the script. And for you folks just tuning in, it depends on A, if Billie Piper's available, B, how long Billie Piper's willing to stay. Will she do an entire episode or not, blah, blah, blah. See if they're going to be a 16th Doctor, and will they be hired by then? Very, very true. Yeah, that there's likely going to be a hiatus because they're literally going to have to slap bang all this together within the next month or two to get it before cameras to be ready for Christmas. And what's sad is I remember back when shows pounded out 20-something episodes for a season and had them done in under a year. Matter of fact, a lot of actors just showed up, they ran through everything, and they were done in a few months. And then they spent the rest of the year like, what's-her-name, Gibbo, running around on the islands. Or hanging out at Cannes with their cans hanging out. Whatever, but, well. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, oh man, like I said, those last finales just really sucked. And I hate to say it, but that mini season with Tennant did not impress me either. I went back and I was looking back on some of that, and I'm like, what the hell was this garbage? Well, we went to the universe and I threw out some salt, so now supernatural beings have been unleashed. There were supernatural beings running around in Doctor Who long before What's His Nut showed up and threw some salt around. Hell, you had the gods of Ragnarok show up. You had Fenric. You had, like I said, there wasn't any need for any justification to do that. You had vampires running around. Turns out they were big enemies of the Time Lords back in the day. Ugh. Well, they have no. Actually, according to the big guys at the BBC, yes, they do want to keep Doctor Who around. You know why? Because it's a cash cow. Despite all this and the fact they've lost the Disney deal, it's still a big ass moneymaker for for UK. Who do you think pays for what's his name Starmer's underwear? Probably Doctor Who. He's probably wearing Doctor Who underoos, the crazy sucker. I can't even pronounce his name correctly, so I'm not even going to try. Ugh, that jackass who's running the UK right into an Orwellian nightmare. And people are saying that's all propaganda. Really? I know people who live in the UK. It's kind of bad when if you tweet something that someone somewhere raids and takes it the wrong way, that police can show up at your door. That is Orwellian nightmare. Now, if a guy with squid tentacles shows up and demands you surrender your living existence to Cthulhu, that's a Lovecraftian nightmare. Notice, big difference. Now, but then again, a lot of politicians these days are probably secretly multi-tentacled, crazed beings, once they get off camera. But that's just reality. But, they have resisted everything American. Like I said, when the 96 movie came out, I'll never forget, one of the big things going around for years, they tried to Americanize Doctor Who and they almost killed it. I'm like, really? British writer, British director, co-produced by the BBC. Hello? You can't throw the blame at us. Ugh. Ugh. Trust me, there's people out there with voodoo dolls built for the sole purpose of keeping Doctor Who from becoming Americanized. Okay. I heard a British chief called Lip King who's obsessed with Kim Kardashian recently died in custody last week. I'm sorry, but the Kardashians to me are just living proof that, oh God. Come on, but I'm going to probably get hate for this, but I'm going to tell you the truth. In my opinion, my humble opinion, they made just about their whole fortune off A, their daddy's money, B, Big Daddy, the guy who hid the gym bag for OJ, allegedly. And their mom pimping them out for sex videos. Those accidental sex videos or whatever. Oh God, I said that dirty word on YouTube. Sex. God, I swear, YouTube's going to be solely responsible for the murder of the English language. He unalived, he checked out, he self-deleted. It's called suicide, asshole. Oh, I know it's a terrible thing, but please don't try to soften it by giving it a stupid name. That's the most insulting thing you can do. Ugh. But yeah, I'm on a rant here, can you tell? So once again, multiple scripts now have been handed in. Main script and a number of alternates depending on several factors. A, is Billie Piper going to do it at all? B, if Billie Piper does it, how much time is she going to be able to dedicate to the production? C, will there be a 16th Doctor available and hired at that time? Like I said, there's just a number of factors that were, just thrown into the mix. They are literally spinning the roulette wheel and hoping everything lands on the right, dot or whatever. I don't know. I don't play roulette. But, so, just remember that, we're going to have to keep our eyes on the ball and, keep our eyes now out, because now that scripts have been handed in, things are going to start moving now. So please, whatever you do today, be kind, be calm, be safe. Well, I'm leaving Raj anyway because I got to get into work. I just realized I hit my time marker. So take care, everyone. Enjoy your day. We'll hopefully see you all again tomorrow. Have a great Monday, folks.